Hi guys, this is Chloe and welcome to my 5-minute long video. I want you guys to start thinking about what that means because that is what this whole video is going to be about. So, time. It's pretty much a set concept. The definition of a minute doesn't change no matter what we do. Or does it? I guess what I'm trying to say is that... Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we're never bored. But how come everything is so boring? What does this mean exactly? Everyone is always so busy. We always have something to do. Imagine we got on an elevator. It takes approximately 2 seconds to go up a floor. But as soon as we get on, we take out our phones, scroll through a few reels, and get off. But let me ask you this. How much of the social media that you browse through do you actually remember at the end of the day? How many of the reels you saw were actually helpful? How many of the profiles you looked through were meaningful to you? Don't you ever feel bored of taking in all this information that you probably will never need? But here's the problem. This paradox of boredom leads people to think that they are never bored online and they're always bored offline, even though it's not that simple. Have you guys ever been like, ugh, I feel like it's been a lifetime. How come class isn't over yet? Or, I picked up my phone like 5 seconds ago. How has an hour passed? Obviously, we all know that time seems to rush forward when we're on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. But the thing is, us young people, we're always on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. So then, what's happening to us? I'm not a philosopher or a researcher. I'm just this 19-year-old girl who's been studying digital media for a mere semester. So agree or disagree, but this is what I think is going on. Some philosophers theorize that the concept of time may be changing along with our society, and that maybe Cleopatra's 1 minute, Isaac Newton's 1 minute, and our 1 minute are completely different. Because, hear me out, when you come to think of it, time is just a concept that was invented by humans for their own purposes. So what reason really is there for it not to change? I think it's safe to say that we no longer live only in the physical world. The internet and social media are taking over, and time online, well, it doesn't really mean much. The internet is forever, no one ages, and characters we create now will stick around, even if we don't. A minute no longer holds the meaning that we originally created it to hold. A blink of an eye could be a second, or an hour, or a year. Nobody really knows. Time becomes meaningless, and thus ignored. This concept that we created thousands of years ago is no longer needed. So then what happens to us in the physical world? When we step out of the internet and into reality, time slows down to a painful level. If you go into any cafe, you'll see people there socializing, friends, couples, families, that are all looking into their screens. We can't stand even a moment just looking into each other's eyes. As soon as the conversation ends, everyone picks up their phones. This shows us how excruciatingly slow and boring the real world feels for people. Wait, before we move on, let's talk evolution real quick. So some people, for example Yuval Harari, say that the next step of human evolution is Homo Deus. It's almost like the next species after Homo sapiens will be a robot human or something. And we all know that evolution is the result to the environment that constantly changes. And thinking about evolution led me to this question. Who says humans are the only ones to evolve? It seems to me as the concept of time is adapting to the online world, which is why it seems like it's changing. Minutes, seconds, hours, they're evolving just like us. And now to conclude. People who naturally pursue entertainment prefer the online world, and the fact that the short form media of this online world is decreasing the time that we can pay attention is showing us how much time online is being sped up. People are adapting to this media form, and time is adapting to the way people perceive it. When the majority moves, the society follows, and thus the whole paradigm of time is shifting to match the one in our screens. These are my thoughts on digital media in the 21st century and how it affects the concept of time. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.